night, we already know the Indiana Fever have signed Chloe Bibby to a rest of the season contract. So when Caitlin Clark returns, hopefully Caitlin Clark is returning pretty soon, we will be able to see the Red Rocket and CC22 on the same court at the same time. I can't wait to see Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Chloe Bibby, Kelsey Mitchell, and Michaela Timpson all on the floor at one time.
The Indiana Fever have achieved remarkable success recently, securing 4 consecutive victories and winning 7 of their last 10 contests. Kelsey Mitchell has emerged as a dominant force during this stretch, while the team's new signing of Chloe Bibby for the remainder of the season represents a strategic move that could enhance their playoff positioning. The anticipated return of Caitlin Clark will create exciting lineup possibilities, particularly the potential partnership between Bibby and Clark on the court. The pick-and-pop combination between these two players promises to deliver exceptional offensive capabilities. The team's roster flexibility allows for multiple effective lineups featuring Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Bibby Mitchell, and Michaela Timpson simultaneously. Strategic substitutions involving Timpson and Dantas will provide additional floor spacing options, creating better driving lanes for Clark while opening up the offensive system.
Michaela Timpson all on the floor at one time. The versatility that we are going to have. You take out Timpson, you put in Dantas. The way we're going to be able to spread the floor, open up the paint, spread the floor, get some lanes for Caitlin Clark to get to the basket. It's going to be pretty, folks. It is going to be a sight to behold. And last night, after Kelsey Mitchell cooked up on the Dallas Wings, Paige Beckers and the head coach, Christy Sides 2.0, some are calling him, had some very nice words to say.
These tactical arrangements should produce visually appealing basketball and represent significant improvements in team chemistry and execution. Following Mitchell's outstanding performance against the Dallas Wings, opposing coaches have acknowledged her exceptional abilities. When questioned about the defensive challenges Mitchell presents, one coach emphasized her status as among the most difficult players to defend in the entire league. Her reputation for possessing the quickest first step and most explosive acceleration has become widely recognized throughout professional women's basketball. Mitchell's versatility allows her to score effectively at all 3 levels of the court.
Some are calling him, had some very nice words to say about one Money Mitch, put him in a ditch.
What were some of the challenges that Kelsey Mitchell posed the defense today?
She's just one of the toughest people to guard in the league. I'm sure if you ask around, you can find a lot of.
Quickest first step in the league. Quickest first step in the league. Kelsey Mitchell. One of the most quick twitch players in the league. One of the shiftiest players in the league. Kelsey Mitchell. Put some respect on Money Mitchell.
What were some of the
Her refusal to surrender to intense defensive pressure sets her apart from many players as she consistently fights through contact to reach her preferred scoring positions. Rather than accepting easier shots when faced with tough defense, she maintains aggressive pursuit of optimal scoring opportunities. The comprehensive nature of her offensive threat creates significant problems for opposing defensive schemes. Attempting to apply additional defensive pressure often backfires as Mitchell successfully navigates around multiple defenders while creating even more advantageous situations for her teammates. This dynamic forces defenses into increasingly difficult positions where they struggle to maintain proper positioning.
What were some of the challenges that Kelsey Mitchell posed the defense today?
She's just one of the toughest people to guard in the league. I'm sure if you ask around, you can find a lot of those same answers, but just her quickness and her ability to score at all 3 levels. And also her ability to not just relent to tough defense and take the easy way out, but continue to fight through and get the ball, get to spots that she wants to get to. So overall, she's just a tough guard.
And then when you have somebody like
Mitchell's exceptional change of pace abilities make her particularly challenging to contain. Her skill at reaching preferred spots on the court consistently tests defensive fundamentals and forces opponents to improve their technical execution while increasing physical intensity. These qualities have earned widespread respect throughout the league. Earlier observations noted that Mitchell wasn't receiving sufficient touches during initial quarters, particularly in transition situations. Her effectiveness running downhill in fast break scenarios ranks among the elite level in professional women's basketball.
She's just a tough guard.
And then when you have somebody like Kelsey Mitchell, she's just a nightmare. We were never in a play with her. We were always
Guys, this coach, man, it's almost insulting to Chrissy Sides to call this guy Chrissy Sides 2.0. This dude is his own separate entity. You know what I mean?
And then when you have somebody like Kelsey Mitchell, she's just a nightmare. You can't. We were never in a play with her. We were always trailing her. We couldn't do anything.
Her mid-range shooting accuracy represents another weapon in her diverse offensive arsenal. During recent contests, Mitchell demonstrated resilience after challenging starts from three-point range. Despite beginning one game, converting only 1 of 5 attempts from beyond the arc, she finished by making 2 of 3 subsequent three-point shots. This persistence exemplifies her mental toughness and confidence in her shooting abilities. Statistical analysis reveals Mitchell's consistent excellence during the Fever's recent successful stretch.
We were never in a play with her. We were always trailing her. We couldn't do anything. And then when you want to try to throw 2 more people at her, now she just gets around more people, and now you put your defense in even a further disadvantage behind the ball. So she's tough. She just plays with such a good change of pace. She's really difficult to keep from getting to her spots. And so we've got to learn and try to be better technically and be more physical and try to be able to disrupt offenses. But
in 8 of their last 10 games, she scored 20 or more points while the team achieved a 7-3 record. Her scoring outputs during this period included impressive totals of 20, 16, 29, 25, 21, 35, 8, and 23 points respectively. Field goal efficiency during this stretch showcased remarkable consistency with percentages of 56%, 66%, 61%, 45%, 52%, 33%, 63%, 30%, and 47%. Only 2 games during this period saw her shooting percentage drop below 40%, demonstrating sustained offensive effectiveness throughout various game situations. Her ability to dominate individual matchups was evident in recent contests, where opposing defenders struggled to contain her drives and baseline attacks.
To disrupt offenses, but credit to Kelsey and to that entire offensive team.
We were saying it in the first quarter that it felt like Kelsey Mitchell didn't get the ball enough, didn't get the ball in the open court enough. Kelsey Mitchell in the open court, one of the best players. Kelsey Mitchell coming downhill in the WNBA, one of the best players. One of the better mid-range shots in the league. When her three-point shot is falling, the three-point shot is falling. Yesterday, after starting 1 for 5 from 3, Money Mitch finished the game 2.
Multiple attempts by different players to guard her one-on-one proved unsuccessful, highlighting her superior individual skills and basketball intelligence. However, separate incidents during recent games have raised concerns about arena security protocols. Unusual objects have appeared on playing surfaces during multiple contests, creating disruptions that required official intervention.
Mitch finished the game 2 of 3 from the downtown. So, again, she doesn't stop. She doesn't quit. The shot's going to fall eventually. Sometimes she'll have an 8 for 24 game, but more often than not, Kelsey Mitchell is shooting over 40%. Up, bye, Paige. See ya. Blow by. Pull up. Come on. Nobody on that team could guard Kelsey Mitchell. I saw her take Dejanay Carrington off the dribble, take her baseline, finish right by her. I mean, come on.
The contrast in responses highlighted the unexpected nature of these situations and the lack of established protocols for handling such disruptions. Security personnel eventually addressed the situation using protective equipment to remove the object safely. The incident prompted questions about screening procedures and how such items successfully pass through multiple security checkpoints at professional sporting venues. Investigation efforts revealed sparse attendance at the affected game, making identification of responsible individuals particularly challenging. The limited crowd size meant security personnel had to question virtually all attendees present during the incident.
Online, the backlash that Scott Agnes would have received. Imagine Scott Agnes writing an article about the Reese's Pieces and all their negative vitriol, shout out to L. Duncan, that's been targeted to Caitlin Clark. Imagine the backlash he would receive. But what's the safe way out? What's the safest way to big up the Indiana Fever? Well, you tear down Caitlin Clark's fans, you paint them as villains, and you say, look at all the team has gone through.
These recurring disruptions have raised broader questions about safety protocols and professional standards within the league. The repeated
Look at all the team has gone through after overcoming all of those nasty, nasty Caitlin Clark fans. Those folks are the dark side. That's the easy way out, and that's the way out Scott Agnes decided to take. The Fever are clicking. Winners of 7 of 9, 4 games over 500 for the first time since 2015. They're doing it together without Caitlin Clark and believe they've still got another level to reach.
The incidents raise questions about staff training, equipment screening procedures, and overall venue security coordination. These developments occur against the backdrop of otherwise successful on-court performance by teams like the Indiana Fever, creating an unfortunate contrast between athletic excellence and operational challenges. The league faces pressure to address these issues while maintaining focus on competitive basketball quality. The recurring nature of these disruptions threatens to overshadow legitimate athletic achievements and could potentially impact player safety if left unaddressed. Professional sporting events require consistent security standards to protect participants and maintain event integrity.
They've still got another level to reach. And in this article, without speaking about all the support this team has still received, though Caitlin Clark's been injured, without speaking about all the attendance numbers that this team has still garnered because Caitlin Clark fans and supporters have fallen in love with this team and have followed this team even without her playing. Instead of going that route, he goes the other route, the more easier path to walk down.
Moving forward, enhanced screening procedures and improved staff training may be necessary to prevent similar incidents. The contrast between excellent basketball performance and operational shortcomings highlights the need for comprehensive improvements in venue management and security protocols throughout the league. The landscape of sports journalism often reveals interesting patterns when examining how certain narratives are constructed and promoted. A recent examination of Indiana Fever coverage demonstrates how media outlets navigate the challenging terrain of fan criticism and team dynamics. Contemporary sports reporting frequently takes predictable approaches when dealing with controversial topics.
They are America's team. Are they? Or do they have America's... We're off that. However, there's also a lot of nastiness, almost entirely online, that comes along with that. Just read the comments. It's something they dealt with last season and again this season. The reality is, those who are the loudest aren't Fever or basketball fans. They're only there for Clark. But that dark side can easily seep into a team. So,
rather than addressing complex issues directly, many journalists opt for safer editorial choices that align with established institutional perspectives. This tendency becomes particularly apparent when covering teams that have experienced significant fan base expansion. The Indiana Fever's recent success presents an interesting case study. The team has achieved notable momentum, winning 7 of 9 games and reaching 4 games above .500 for the first time since 2015. This accomplishment occurred during a period when their most prominent player remained sidelined due to injury.
but that dark side can easily seep into a team. So, question, because stupid WNBA fan here, are Clark fans not Fever fans or basketball fans now? Interesting. Because all those Clark fans are sticking around for Fever games. Interesting. And most of Clark fans are basketball fans. Interesting. I just want to know how we're distinguishing the three and why we are.
However, media coverage of this success has taken a particular angle that warrants examination. Rather than focusing solely on the team's achievements or the continued fan support despite the star player's absence, some reporting has chosen to emphasize negative aspects of fan behavior. The characterization of certain fan segments as problematic or representing a dark side raises questions about journalistic objectivity. This framing suggests a deliberate editorial choice to position fan criticism as inherently negative rather than examining the substance of such concerns. Athletic reporting traditionally acknowledges that passionate fan bases naturally express opinions about coaching decisions, player performance, and team management.
Distinguishing the three and why we are distinguishing the thing. If distinguishing between the three, if not to be divisive? What's the point of if not to be divisive? The Fever won't let that happen. Several members have gone off social media because of it, and it's an everyday challenge for them to keep the noise out. Same was true last season. Let's go backwards. Members of the team have gone off social media because there's a lot of nastiness almost in.
The notion that fan criticism itself constitutes inappropriate behavior represents a departure from conventional sports coverage norms. The distinction drawn between different types of fans, those supporting individual players versus those supporting teams or the sport generally, appears artificial and potentially divisive. Fan loyalty can manifest in various forms, and attempting to categorize supporters into hierarchical structures serves little constructive purpose. Examination of social media activity contradicts claims about players withdrawing from online platforms. Multiple team members remain active across various social media channels, regularly posting content and engaging with audiences.
Because there's a lot of nastiness almost entirely online that Caitlin Clark fans are saying. Instead of saying, Scott, the team has come together, the team has battled with a lot of outside noise coming from the social media, instead of saying that, we say the team is coming together because of, even after all of the nasty stuff that Caitlin Clark fans have been saying. That causes my head to scratch a little.
This discrepancy between reported behavior and observable activity raises questions about the accuracy of such characterizations. The suggestion that fan criticism creates overwhelming challenges for professional athletes may underestimate the resilience and adaptability expected at elite competitive levels. Professional sports inherently involve public scrutiny, and managing external commentary represents a standard aspect of high-level athletic careers. The broader context reveals interesting dynamics within sports media ecosystems. Journalists face pressure to maintain access and relationships with teams, leagues, and organizations.
That Caitlin Clark fans have been saying. That causes my head to scratch a little bit. Second thing. Several members have gone off social media because, one, why are they on social media in the first place? We're in the middle of a season. There's other things that we could be doing. And two, what players have really gone off social media? I see Natasha Howard doing TikToks. I see Michaela Timpson doing TikToks. I see Sydney Colson doing TikToks. I see Sophie Cunningham doing TikToks. I see Lexi Hull doing TikToks. I see Aaliyah Boston doing.
This reality can influence editorial decisions and story angles, potentially favoring institutional perspectives over independent analysis. The phenomenon of increased attention surrounding marquee players is neither unexpected nor unprecedented in professional sports. Teams that acquire high-profile talent naturally experience elevated scrutiny, commentary, and fan engagement. This represents normal market dynamics rather than anomalous circumstances requiring special management. The characterization of fan criticism as nastiness without providing specific examples or context limits readers' ability to evaluate the validity of such claims.